Um, Welcome to today's deep dive. You know that feeling when you are staring at a problem and you just can't see the solution?
Oh, yeah, we have all definitely been there.
Right. Well, today we are unpacking a highly technical evaluation report of something called the Omega-Genesis Manuscript.
A really ambitious paper.
Incredibly ambitious. It claims a definitive proof for one of math's most stubborn puzzles, the Collatz Conjecture.
Which you probably know as the 3n+1 problem.
Exactly.
And just to set the stage for you here, this isn't just some speculative draft floating around. This evaluation document officially clears the manuscript for high-tier academic submission on ARP Service.
The real deal.
Yeah, it confirms the mathematical rigor is totally sound right down to the standard MSART formatting that top journals require.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because the Collatz conjecture usually deals with rigid discrete numbers, right?
Right.
You plug an integer in, apply a rule, and watch the sequence bounce around. But this manuscript completely bypasses those old roadblocks.
It stops doing math like an accountant and
Starts doing it like a river guide navigating a mountain. It takes this discrete number problem and turns it into a continuous four-dimensional flow system. They call it the Collatz harmonic flow operator, or CHFO.
that river analogy is actually perfect. If we connect this to the bigger picture, the authors achieve this continuous flow using what they call a dual framework resolution.
So like a master blueprint.
Exactly like a master blueprint. The manuscript acts as the specific instance, but it is entirely governed by a universal set of 88 laws called the Omega calculus.
Wow.
Basically, the Omega calculus acts as the physics for this new math universe.
Here's where it gets really interesting. It treats numbers like water flowing through a landscape, but how does it sort them? Chapter 1 says it partitions numbers based on modulo 8 behavior.
Right, so modulo 8 just means looking at the remainder when divided by 8. It groups numbers into repeating patterns.
Gotcha.
And the manuscript splits these into two dynamic classes. You have good residues called syntropic, which force the sequence to contract or flow down.
And then the bad residues.
The entropic ones, yes. Those force the sequence to expand or push upward.
I feel like I have a few entropic days myself where everything just spirals out of control. So how does the math force these expanding bad numbers to eventually shrink?
That is the big question. It creates this fascinating topological journey using a geometric structure called the boundary membrane.
Like a one-way valve?
Yes, a strict one-way valve.
Yeah.
The Mod 96 acyclicity theorem proves numbers simply can't expand in the entropic manifold forever. They inevitably hit that boundary membrane, get captured by the syntropic region, and absolutely cannot return.
So what does this all mean? They walk through a turnstile and they are trapped on the platform. They can only go down.
Precisely. And tracking that descent introduces the Omega 86 potential. It is a customized Lyapunov functional.
Which balances the entropic height against the syntropic depth, right?
Right.
Gravity pulling them down the stairs.
Spot on. What's fascinating here is the punchline. This potential mathematically guarantees a strictly negative long-term drift.
The numbers have to go down.
They have to. Empirical Mod 96 datasets prove even the most stubborn bottleneck chains are forced by structural tension to spiral inward. They have nowhere else to go until they hit the singular global minimum.
The famous 1-2-4 cycle, that is absolutely wild.
It really is.
But why should you care about a four-dimensional mathematical flow system? Because this shows us how changing the very dimension of a problem from rigid numbers to flowing geometry can unlock the impossible.
This raises an important question for you to think about. If a famously unsolvable rigid arithmetic loop can be broken by mapping it as a fluid four-dimensional landscape, what seemingly impossible roadblocks in your own life or work might instantly dissolve if you just translate them into an entirely different framework.